And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. 94.4 Rembert along with you here this morning. Little gremlin, but I got it fixed before you saw my smiling face.
You just throw some water on it.
Cold outside.
Yeah.
29 degrees. But it's going to be a nice week. Going to get close to 60 today or tomorrow. So that's a nice positive treat, but glad to have you along with us this morning. Those of you that may have been looking for WLON last night, that did not work, but we'll get that worked out. Richie, good morning. Glad to have you along this morning. First thing first, the great, iconic, not real DJ passed away yesterday, I believe. May have been Sunday, but I thought it was yesterday. Dr. Johnny Fever from WKRP in Cincinnati. Yep. God. 81 years young, if I'm not mistaken.
That guy was fantastic.
He was. Man. Howard. His real name was Howard Hessman. And he was a great Johnny Fever. Big fan. I'm sorry, he passed away. Let's see, this would have been Saturday on the 29th, passed away on the 29th. 81 years young. But he was the hard-rocking DJ. And, of course, you know, the other one was Tim Reed. Tim Reed is still Venus Flytrap was his name on the show. And Tim Reed's still active in TV. I was trying to remember, somebody had told me this, but he passed away. I was looking to see. I think he had some health problems, but colon surgery he had back in the summer. Colon. I thought it was colon cancer, but it didn't specify. It just said colon surgery. But 81 years. 81 years old. But the great Johnny Fever. And there had to be a lot of folks that watched that. Richie said didn't get to hear the show last night, but Payne Stewart would have been 65 today.
What an incredible athlete he was. I mean,
I may have told this before. I had an opportunity. I used to go to some tournaments. Mm-hmm. Been to the Masters once. Went to Hilton Head. Went to Charlotte when they came through. Of all the golfers that I expected to be more personable, he was one of them. But he was not. He was not a personable. I mean, you've got some that will, I know you don't wear them out, but still, he just was. He was not just not personable at all. But can't deny, what he did. Apparently, what happened on that plane crash, they had on autopilot. And it kept climbing, and they lost compression, and they all passed out. And then when it ran out of gas, it just crashed. Yeah. And that's just a sad, sad story. Yes, Richie, that's correct. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. You remember the great turkey drop from Les Nessman. That was just a great show. I am going to put up some T-shirts for WLON that's going to look like the old WKRP in Cincinnati. It'll say WLON in Lincoln, but it'll have the same format that it did.
Yeah, Payne Stewart's pretty cool though. Like he would always wear like an NFL outfit. You would know what team.
Now here's the deal. Yeah. I owned a pair of knickers.
Yeah,
with the white sanitaries. I call them white sanitaries. That's what we call them in baseball. But
sure.
And that's what I wore under it. And I had my little Kangol hat. And Payne was a spiffy dresser.
Absolutely.
He was definitely a spiffy dresser.
You make sure you wear that in April to our trip.
I'll get me another pair. Sure, I'll be glad to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get some of those loud ones like John Daly wears. Yeah.
Please do.
I told you, I wear Zubas. I wore Zubas on the sideline when I was coaching.
Oh.
Usually homecoming was the only one, that's when I'd break them out. But the Zubas didn't bother me at all. Bright red and white. Couldn't find red and gray for West Lincoln, but the closest I could find was NC State Wolfpack Zubas. And they were red and white, and that's what I would wear.
Go with it.
Right there in front of God and everybody in Douglas Linhart Stadium. I would have them on. Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. There's not a whole lot of things that do bother me.
No.
I try to get along. That's what I do. Let's see if we got some headlines for today before we get into football. Brady says he's still going through the process. Now, it leaked out that he was going to retire, and I really do think he's going to retire. I don't think there's any reason for him to come back. I think it's going to get harder, and I'd want to go out when I was still pretty good instead
of best this year.
I understand.
No, I agree with you.
But I'm just saying from a super – he don't want to be the best. He wants to win Super Bowls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't care if he's got the best numbers. He wants to win Super Bowls. He's a winner.
And he did. I think, he looks at his chances of repeating, whether it be, this year, next year, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And, just because you have the same team coming back doesn't mean that,
and they had everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And added a couple of, what they thought were key components. But, look at what injuries do. They lost, a key component of that offensive line. And you and I were talking about a little bit before we went on the air, but, talking about Aaron Donald, how important the defensive line is. But I got to tell you, Lenny, NFL, people talk about, he can run fast and he can catch the ball and he can throw it. It matters up front. It's like warfare.
Nobody likes to give credit to the fat boys up front.
And that's a sad thing because in reality, that's what ends up getting it done when the other stuff is matched.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's the willpower up front. I mean, it's warfare. It's your front line of defense, your front line of offense.
Mm-hmm.
You can send the planes over, shoot far from the tanks, but up front is where it matters. Unless you drop a nuclear bomb. That's
yeah, and just make it a parking lot.
It is what.
Yeah. And don't forget tomorrow, the rumors out. Juju sent us that the Washington Deadskins are going to be renamed the Commodores. Correct? Commanders, not Commodores.
Commanders, I believe.
Commanders, not Commodores.
I believe that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
The Commodores.
Yeah. She's a brick house. Yeah. It's the Commanders. Either one of those terrible, so it don't really matter. We've got some NFL head coaching positions that have been filled, and I'm anxious to see how that's going to work. Didn't I? Yep. Josh McDaniels acknowledged that he's going to be the head coach of the Raiders. That was a fail in Denver. He said he wasn't ready for the position in the first go-round more than a decade earlier.
I believe that. I mean, and he's as seasoned as anybody. Let's be honest. I mean, he's been through it and failed miserably. Even though he had some great successes early on, it's about sustainable success and look at the learning curve. And, he's very good at what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And the trend is to hire the offensive guys, to be the head coach right now in most cases. So, he's – to me, he's as good as, anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Look where he comes from. The pedigree's there. But, it's like you talked about. Vrabel's really the only Belichick assistant.
Yeah, Charlie Weiss, and as much as I like Romeo, they just never got it done.
Yeah. I mean, and unfortunately, some people are just meant to be
coordinators
in that role, and that's okay. A lot of times that's dismissed, like we couldn't make it as a head coach. Well, I mean, where's your true value? In what you do, is it your perceived, value or your actual value?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it comes from with a lot of guys. And that's okay.
Milton saying good morning, and I agree with Milton. He said, I think the Washington Taters is still better than the Commanders. I think anything's better than the Commanders. That's just me. Here's the coaching hires that I see we've got. Green Bay offense coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. He's the new Broncos coach.
Wow.
And I think that's laying the groundwork, see if they can get Aaron.
Yeah.
We had a gentleman on last night, Mike Counter. Mike was the Green Bay, reporter locally in Green Bay and does TV and radio. And we were talking about the Packers can't afford. They won't have anything left that they pay him. He's due $45 or $47 million. I can't remember. And if they cut him before such and such a date, they save $19 million, I believe it is. But anyway, the Broncos took offense coordinator from the Packers, Nathaniel Hackett. The Bears, they bring aboard Indianapolis Colts defense coordinator Matt Fuberless. I can't pronounce that. That's way too many vowels and consonants. And then the Giants, they opted for Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Brian Daboll, and I think that's a good hire. And now the Raiders have taken offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels. So that still leaves open the Vikings, Dolphins, Saints, and Texans. Is that right?
Yeah.
So are they waiting for somebody that's still in? Now that Kansas City's out, will what's the offensive coordinator? Yeah. Eric Bieniemy. Will he get some shots?
I mean, there's some hot name coordinators out there. Obviously, Tampa Bay has two. That the circuit was running. I just it's interesting about the hire with Green Bay's offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, because make no mistake that Matt LaFleur was the one that made the play calls. Is that not? I mean, that's
I think so.
Right?
Kind of like we had another guy on last night, Josh McCurry. He covers the Steelers, and he was saying Mike Tomlin's one of the few that still calls every defensive play. One of the few head coaches.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he still calls the defense. Yep. He still calls the defense. So that still goes on, and we forgot another one. We forgot Jacksonville's still open, right? I mean, supposedly it's going to be Leftwich, but that has not been made official.
Jacksonville, and then what about Miami? Who did they take?
Nobody. That's still open.
This thing about Tomlin being the defensive coordinator, what Keith Butler is right now is, he's the coordinator, right?
I believe that's right. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't see how head coaches can do it and do it effectively.
I watch Mike Tomlin on the sidelines, and he doesn't say anything hardly at all except, let's go or what. I mean, I don't know when does he make the calls?
I don't know.
Wow,
maybe somebody that makes the calls, and then he either accepts it or vetoes it through the headphone. That's what I always used to say about Dan Henning. I used to complain about Dan Henning's play calls at the Panthers, and somebody said, well, now remember, they all go through John Fox's headphones.
Yeah.
So
they
can
do, but I'm going to tell you what, the most successful people are able to delegate, and then in situational times, can make those decisions. The plays may go through Belichick's headset, but he's managing the process and not actually applying it on every call.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, trying to, instead of looking out, 3 to 5 years or 7 years on your life, it's every day I'm just going to focus on that day. And what happens is you end up being in the same place.
And that's kind of where the Steelers
3
have
to
been.
5, 7 to 10 years. That's kind of my point when I'm roundabout getting out without calling them out.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
No, I agree.
I'll tell you what, let's set the bar here and hit it instead of setting it up here and then, nudging at it up here and then hitting it. Yeah. Is this success? I talk about. I mean, I don't know, man.
I'm gonna give you another point in just a minute. Richie says Harbaugh is set to interview with the Vikings,
and we're talking about Jim.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
with the Vikings.
Wow.
Milton said, "What I read, he will be reunited with his GM." Richie also says there's some complications between Jacksonville and Leftwich. The management of the Jaguars are reportedly screwing it up. That doesn't surprise me one bit. I mean, because that's the way that thing is. And then Bob had mentioned Andrew Whitworth is his new hero. Anybody that plays offensive line at the age of 40 has my respect.
Yeah, that's the truth. And who is? Let's see, Alan Page. What did he play? Now, he was one of the older NFL players.
He was a defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm. And he had played until, a pretty elderly age. I say elderly, you know what I mean. I'm talking about all things considered with the NFL. I just remember him, Lanny, as a young kid, and just, and seeing, quite a bit.
Alan Page, he is an associate justice of the Minnesota Supreme Court.
And I think he died like 4 or 5 years ago.
Nope, he's still alive. Oh, no, he's still alive.
He is?
Yep, he has not passed. That's pretty impressive right there.
Okay, because I hadn't seen him on but yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying when I seen him on TV or had seen him or whatever. He's just,
14 years in the league.
Yeah, okay.
He played 14 years.
Okay.
First round, number 15 pick. The beginning of his career, the first 11 were with the Vikings, and what's funny is the final 3 were with the Bears.
I remember him with the Bears.
Yeah,
is that
but you don't usually think of him like that.
Was he one of the purple people eaters? Is that right?
Yes,
he was with Merle.
No, he was with.
No one also played for the Rams.
Alan Page, Carl Eller.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the others, but the purple people eaters. 15 years in the league.
That's amazing.
And what's funny is you look at players like him, he did not get the recognition for sacks and stuff that players get now because nobody threw the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the game has changed that much. So that's why I say you can't – you have to look at put everything in perspective by generations or eras because it changes too much. You can't do it.
It's really interesting that when you watch, even back into the late '60s, early '70s. I say early 70s itself, and maybe early '80s, but just the wing T backfield, even though there may not have been a wing. And you know what I'm talking about, fullback and tailback, and that kind of thing. And then of course the West Coast offense came right, and then they split them. Went more to split back, look with things, but still ran a lot of the, the gut traps, and it's just interesting. Let me
give you this, and I did not know this. These players all started with the Vikings. No, these are Pro Bowl selections. I'm sorry. It was Alan Page, Carl Eller, Jim Marshall, Gary Larson.
Right, Jim Marshall.
Much similar to the Steel Curtain with the Steelers.
Oh, yeah.
The Rams, you talked about Merlin Olsen and Freddie Dreyer. That was the Fearsome Foursome.
Yeah.
And then when I'm trying to think, his name was Joe Gecko. He was in Cannonball Run. He was a defensive tackle for the Jets in the 80s. They were, and I think that's when Gastineau was with them. They were called the New York Sack Exchange. That was what their defense was called.
Gastineau had that great hair too, man. Right in the celebration.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
he had the
professional wrestler all the way.
He definitely had the hair back in the day. Yeah. Let me take a time out. We come back. We'll get more. We'll get into the games from this past weekend. We'll talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. We got plenty of time to talk about the Super Bowl. We'll be back in a moment.
When Patrick and waved off the field goal and decided to go for it by throwing it.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with department staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. I apologize. I'm still learning which buttons I need to push on my new contraption over here. Juju says it's going to become official tomorrow. They will be the Washington Taterheads. The Commanders.
They maybe should call them the Taxers.
Surely they could have come up with something better than that. That's unbelievable. That's terrible. Well, I guess it fits. Sorry, Redskin fans.
Maybe they should call them the Confusion.
I guess. I mean, some people just soon stayed to the Washington football team. And I'm not sure that was a bad idea, you know. But anyway, all right, so let's talk about the games. Once again, very good games on Sunday. I thought,
incredible.
You know, I was working around here when the Bengals and the Chiefs were on,
Yep.
and it got ugly early. And I didn't think it was going to be a game. Chiefs jumped all over them. And then I didn't get it turned back on till later on. It was 21-21. I'm like, holy crap. And I'm going to say we had a little chat conversation going on for a group of us, and I'm still going to say Andy Reid and his game plan at the end beat him on that one, thinking we're going to hold on to the ball. The worst thing that can happen is we kick a field goal and tie, but we're going to hold on to the ball and see if we can score at the very last minute. I think Patrick Mahomes was out of gas. He looked tired. He couldn't complete the passes. They were harassing him in the backfield.
That's such a great point. And maybe sometimes, you know, being a great athlete and a great playmaker is a detriment rather than a blessing. You know, when you run around.
Too much expectations.
Right. And, well, that and too much expensive energy. You know, again, you know, Joe Burrow, you know, yeah, he can scramble because he's young, kind of like Roethlisberger did. But what he does is he manages the game, and he keeps turnovers to a minimum. And that's why Mahomes normally is so good. But when you have that great athleticism comes with the great plays, there's always a risk involved in that when you get tired, you know, you can be a great athlete as long as you got energy, Lanny, but you know this from, you know, coaching and playing. When you get tired,
you don't make good decisions.
What happens is you revert back to trying to conservation, right? That's why guys that are extremely tired, you know, females too, basketball, foul shots at the end of the game. Some people call them free throws. Call them what you want to, all right? But they get tired, and they're not as accurate. Well, they got to play into shape, and they're pro athletes, and they should do that. Let me tell you something. The amount of energy expended at that level That's why they only play one side of the ball starting, basically after high school.
Yeah.
So that's when I was looking at it. Garrick, my youngest son, and I were looking, watching the game, going back and forth, and Quinn was watching it, and I said, guys, sometimes being that great athlete in a situation like this, you're expected to be able to play not only 4 quarters but in through overtime. Let's see how much everybody's got left. And sure enough, the pick shows up. Brady is the greatest of all time. I still say, and the reason he is, Lenny, is because he wasn't the fastest guy out there. He managed the game within the attributes and assets that he was blessed with, which you have proven to be true.
He made up for what he lacked in athleticism with the mental side, the intellect of the game. Much like Peyton Manning, same way. Peyton Manning was not a great athlete by any stretch of the imagination, but he was, from the mental side, it was unbelievable what he could do. Now, here's the thing that I find interesting. Every game that we played in the playoffs, once you got through the wild card, okay, was a 3-point ball game, with the exception of Kansas City and Buffalo, but that's only because it went to overtime.
And it was horrible the way that ended.
But
horrible.
What I'm saying is we've had some of the most competitive, balanced games. Nobody wants to see a runaway.
What's everybody focused on? What are the players focused on?
Just don't play. Yeah. Yeah, it makes a difference.
They're professionals.
Yep.
Imagine how good you are and how good the product is when that is the focus.
Yep. The other thing that I felt was interesting, you go back to the Green Bay game, is so many people said, well, Green Bay lost last year because there were no fans in Lambeau. Not the case. When we talked with Mike last night, we were talking about that. Even some of the Green Bay faithful are kind of getting tired of the rhetoric from Rodgers. He said, I'm trying to remember exactly how many years, but how many years that Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers have been quarterback. First ballot Hall of Famers,
no doubt,
and they only come away with 2 Super Bowls. Tommy's got 7 by himself.
But Rodgers only has 1, right?
Favre only has 1, and Rodgers only have. That's what I'm saying. Between the 2 of them, they only got 2 in 30-some years.
I thought Favre won back-to-back.
He's just got 1, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
We'll check it.
But to your point, that 2 to 3 Super Bowl. Let's just say he did.
Yeah.
Still, with all those years and as great as those guys are, holy cow.
Yep.
Holy cow.
He took over. Let's see. I guess in '92. Only 1 Super Bowl. 92.
So they lost the 1 in maybe, 97 or 98? Because didn't they go back-to-back years? That's what maybe threw me off.
Well, they've got the let me look here. That's his numbers. Sometimes they don't put this stuff down like I'd like to look at it.
And that's my
no. But what I'm saying is the number of years that those 2, which are top 10 quarterbacks of all time, the both of them, and they don't even sniff.
Yeah,
Tom did.
Yeah, and then Bradshaw, of course. Steve Young. Didn't have the opportunities as long, but that's understandable because of Joe Montana. I get it. Think about this. Does it really lessen their impact and effect, directly on the game? And can you name this time that they've played without mentioning their name? The answer is no, because the same thing with Dan Marino. You can't mention the 80s.
Can't tell the story of NFL football.
I think you put it best. Yeah. You can't tell the story. That's right. I mean,
and that's how you determine. That's how you determine Hall of Fame players.
Right.
If you can tell the story of the league, of the game, without mentioning certain players, then they probably aren't Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
But you can't. It's 30 years. Brett Favre went to Green Bay in '92.
Yep.
So 30 years, 2 Super Bowls. Yep. Tommy picked up 7 in 21 or 22 by himself.
7 wins.
Yes.
10,
I'm just
total.
Hey, you don't count first loser. You just count the
That's
wins.
right. To say, why did you lose? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You
Doesn't
lost.
matter. Dave Lilly says if the Rams DBs don't tackle better, they could be a long day for them. Their middle
that's a great
linebacker
point.
struggled as well.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And that's true. That's true. Bob said the Bengals did not let Mahomes outside and forced him to stay in the pocket or retreat. That's the best defense on him. Well, with any running quarterback, that's exactly what it is. You allow him because that changes the whole complexion of the game when you get them outside.
I agree with Bob this year. Last year, I think we saw with Tampa running the two deep coverage and then the swinging gate where they were forcing Mahomes, from the defensive left for him to run to his left. Okay, and get him running for 7 to 8 yards in the Super Bowl. Watching that in the first half last year was incredible about how they were managing the game from the defensive standpoint. Tampa Bay was, to keep Mahomes because he had a foot injury and he was running, against that foot injury to his left and then trying to throw back right. And so to Bob's point the other night, hey, he's healed up this year, playing well. Don't let him out of the pocket. Now, I will tell you this. David brought up a good point with the tackling part. And the interesting part about that to me is I think Joe Mixon is going to be the catalyst in this game.
Yep.
Rather
I
than,
can see that.
Right, because he's such a powerful back. This is a no.
But this is a much different front four with Los Angeles than he's faced.
I don't disagree with that. But his off-tackle ability to be able to cut it back.
If he can get to the next level.
Yes, if he gets to level 2 and 3, he punishes people.
No, I agree.
And to David's point, it could get really, really interesting. And that's something that, Garrick and I were just kind of talking about, because, of course, he's devastated Brady's retiring.
Yeah.
He has been that guy. Oh, he just comes in. He's got his head down.
What's so sad is Tom was halfway through his career before G-Man was even born.
Yeah, way past. I mean, he come in there and he had all his Tampa Bay stuff in a pile, and he's looking at it. Then I see him over in the corner. And he's watching the ball game, and he's got his Patriots jersey back on.
Ooh.
I said, "Who's it going to be? Mac Jones now?" He gives that big sigh. Says, I just don't know yet.
Wow.
I told him it's the same thing. Like, I know how he feels because, like, when Bradshaw retired, that's when I started watching Steelers his last 3 or 4 years and how crushed I was, And then, my dad's like, son, they can't play forever. Well, that's great advice. You're right. But he said, what you can do? You can watch every clip of them and try to emulate and live, that part of enjoyment and then find somebody new. And it wasn't going to be Vince Ferragamo, I can tell you that. Okay, it was not going to be Vince. And great guy, whatever, but that was not him. I like Marino.
Bob said number 20, Waddle or Waddle. I don't remember how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Waddle. He must attempt to tackle only when the defensive call is for him to blitz. He could be Dion. I mean, that's kind of the way Dion did
Let me
things.
tell you something. You watch him, Eric Waddle. You watch him and how he plays the inside run from that safety position and how that inside foot is positioned and what his reads are. That watching him last game gave away a lot of what the 49ers, were going to do and how they were going to react to that. But watching him from that safety position was so interesting because of the reads he had. He was in between, not necessarily the tackles, but between the guards, on several plays, kind of what Bob's talking about. There was some serious, scheming going on from the safety position because he wasn't normally as deep, but yet he wasn't giving it away early on. But his read was straight. I tell you, they talk about reading the guards, from the safety position, or some coaches like to read the last guy on the line of scrimmage, which is fair because tight end, tackle, whatever, right? But I really thought that his read at one point was it's crazy, but I thought at one point it might have been the center. Wow. And the action of the center.
Center ain't taking you nowhere.
No, but I'm just saying it was crazy how he just knew when the inside run was coming.
Yeah.
And he was there.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Let me take a time out. When I come back, here's my question. With the outcome of the 49ers and the Rams, did Jimmy G seal his fate of being a journeyman backup and not a franchise quarterback? Back in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. I almost did that right that time. That was closer than it was. I'm trainable. Ask my wife. I'm not very effective, but I'm trainable. Yeah. Work for cookies. Big cookie guy.
Yeah.
No show Thursday. No show Friday. Unless I get an itch. Because I'm going to be out of town.
Great debate of all time. Mm-hmm. Cookies or cake? And both is not an acceptable answer.
Tough.
You have to take one.
That's tough.
Exactly.
Probably cake. And I'll tell you why.
Because of the...
Now, I'm not an icing guy.
All right.
Okay, I'm not an icing
That's
guy.
horrible. Go ahead.
My mom made the best cakes ever. Homemade pound cakes.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
And she could tell you, if she were still alive,
Right.
when I would come home, I would come in straight to the kitchen, to the cake box, because there was always a cake in there, and get me a piece of cake.
Sure.
Mom made cakes and pies. And Mom made the little pies, and she worked at Love Memorial Elementary School, and she would make little coconut, pecan, chocolate pies and take them.
Take them in, yeah.
I have met so many people. One of the ladies that she's retired now used to run our Boger City store. We got to talking when I first came to I went to work there 16 years ago. And we got to talking, and she used to run the One Stop in Krause. And when we got to talking and she found out my name, she asked me if I knew Reba Ford, if I was related to her. I said, yeah, that's my mom. Oh, she used to bring me the best pies because that's where Mom bought her cigarettes. That was Mom's cigarette store. And just all the people, and whenever I post up about Mom, if it's her birthday or something, everybody brings up, God, I really miss those pies you used to bring to school.
That's so awesome.
So I'm going to go cake. Yeah. I like cookies, but I love just plain vanilla pound cakes. That's my favorite of all cakes.
Milk with it.
Nice cold glass of milk would be good. Favorite cookie?
Yeah.
Not the ones in your hand, but favorite cookie?
Oh, the double stuffed white Oreos.
My favorite cookie is
obviously.
Now here's the deal: got to be thick and chewy. Okay. Oatmeal raisin.
Oh, great choice.
That's my favorite.
I have like one A, 1B, 1C. There is no number. Yeah. There is no second place.
We keep back here. Yeah. Usually, I keep Fig Newtons, like Fig Newtons.
Oh yeah, the real Fig Newtons, not the throw-offs.
I'll eat any of them.
Well, but there's
the apple Newtons are good too. The ones that's got the apple stuff. Yeah,
just saying.
And then I keep the fudge stripe cookies. That's another one's back there. Pecan sandies. That's another. So I haven't found any food that I don't like.
It's very interesting, Lenny, that there is this like thing that is like an unwritten rule that says you cannot drink a gallon of milk within an hour. That let me tell you something. That is not true, because you can sit down and eat one or two packs of double stuffed Oreos and drink a gallon of milk within an hour.
Thank you, Milton.
You can do it.
Milton used to be the fire chief of Christ. He said her pound cakes were the best. See, I told you, people know about moms.
But that's interesting when you don't know you're doing it and you do it. I haven't done that in many years, but it happened.
When I was a fat man, you give me cold milk and a dozen hot donuts from Krispy Kreme.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
And it's on. I mean, I can remember going through the drive-thru at Krispy Kreme to get hot donuts and order milk.
There's no doubt.
I want milk with it.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And 3% whole, don't give me the skim, okay? I want the whole. And that's the difference between 2% and whole milk is 1%. Yeah. Whole milk's 3%, just in case everybody freaks out about whole milk.
I'm a 2.
Yeah, but it's a psychological barrier, okay?
It is.
But what's interesting, again, is when you're younger, and I was much younger, that was actually achieved. Now, this was before I got in my even I think it was like early 30s.
Where you wear all your cookies?
Huh?
Where you wear all your cookies now?
Yeah. Just take it and stick it, right? Yeah. They ain't happening.
Yep. David said cookies and cake, much better talk than Jimmy G talk.
Sorry, Dave.
So back to Jimmy G.
Sorry, Dave. Yeah, right. Sorry.
Was Jimmy G asked to do too much with what he had to work with the 49ers? Were the 49ers – Did the 49ers overachieve in how far they got?
No, I don't think they did. But I do think that, with it being a business and them having ideas of Trey Lance and what they want to do, that they may have – and I know this sounds crazy. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but it always makes you wonder if they were putting more on him than he could really handle to give the excuse that, okay, it's time for us to move on. We need to go to our number one. A lot of times – and I wouldn't call it sabotaging or anything like that, but – it may have been at times, and again, I have no evidence of this. I'm not accusing him, but I'm just conversation, okay? It's just another thing to think about on that end. It is a business. They need reasons to move on. Sometimes they can go back directly to performance instead of development and process. So
I just hope they're right.
Well,
I hope they hitch to the right horse.
Well, again, the things that I fall back on, okay, when someone doesn't have all of the intangibles, you can talk about how fast Trey Lance is, how strong his arm is. But what you go back to is, okay, what has the competition been that he's played against? How do you truly measure him? All right, when you look at Justin Herbert, you say, well, the competition he played against was okay, but it wasn't great. Yes, but he's 6'5", and he has a rifle just like Josh Allen. So that's where, and I'm just saying that's kind of where you can – attached to measurables because of the height. He's not throwing the ball into the defensive lineman's head or trying to shot put it like this, like Baker and a couple of the other guys that are shorter. Again, I'm not, just talking about what is. You don't see that with Herbert or, with, Josh Allen. Jimmy G's not a short, not really, So this is going, there's a lot that's playing into this. And I just like consistency and stability at that position instead of dynamic playmaking. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Because every quarterback that's there now is not a dynamic playmaker. They are a dynamic distributor of the ball.
Well, here's the thing. This is the thing that you can't take the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes example is, well, we know what we're doing with the younger quarterback, because they knew all along what they had in Patrick Mahomes, and
they made the right decision,
and they did.
Yes,
but
yes.
I'm not sure that Trey Young is another Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure how much better he is than Jimmy G.
Well, we don't know.
Other than he fits the mold for the new ultra mobile athletic quarterbacks.
Like Kyler does.
Yeah.
And how was their playoff record this year?
Not very good.
Okay.
Even with a college coach that understood.
How was Lamar's playoff record this year?
Yeah, well, he can't stay healthy.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm with you.
And Jimmy G has had some injuries too, but still, he's going to make somebody a good quarterback. I think. I like him.
I do. Is he going to be one of the greatest of all time? Probably not. But
serviceable.
Yes, and I can't see the comments, but I don't think Jimmy G. I can't read past that.
I'll get.
Okay,
we'll get.
Because I mean, do I think he did too much? Probably not, but I do think that there were times this year where they tried to put pressure situations on him from an inside point to be able to justify
what they were going to do.
Yeah. Again, I'm not accusing anybody.
Covering the A.
Just thinking out loud.
Yeah. Richie said, first let's get to this. This is important. Okay. I sat down the other night and ate a bunch of double-stuffed Oreos and a half a gallon of milk. Can't do that again. Gave me late-night indigestion, Tums to the rescue. I can't do sweets late because it does me the same thing. Yeah. Milton said we would hide my mom's pound cake at the chicken suppers, the barbecue chicken suppers, so they got the good stuff, because Mom would make cakes and ladies in the community would make cakes and pies and donate them, and that would be the dessert that went into the chicken pie. So awesome. Richie said, I don't think Jimmy G tried to do too much. That last pass probably shouldn't have been thrown, but it wasn't off the mark. It went through the receiver's hands and hit him in the face mask. Yeah, and then Bob said Donald and Miller finally began playing up to their potential on the last two 49er drives. That was the difference in Garoppolo's performance. Donald and Miller were no factors for the first three quarters. Wasn't Von Miller coming off an injury for this going into this year or something?
Well, he was not playing and they signed him.
Okay,
right.
Okay.
He'd
I knew there was reason.
Right,
there was
that's
something.
what it was, and it just reinvigorated and internalized that fire. To come back and be better. And Bob's right. Did Bob say that they weren't effective? Is that was he was saying?
In the first three quarters.
Yeah. With double and triple team, making sure that they didn't have an impact early on, allowed them to stay in the game that long. So I think that's a great assessment. Just looking at the game and how they went about, and I say the 49ers, about trying to neutralize that, that, I guess you could say, side of the ball, but just that duo in itself. The Rams are very good defensively, and McVay, I doubt, will try to do some of the things the 49ers did. I think he's going to try to get the ball out quick to make that defensive line a non-factor. However, I still believe that Mixon, if he goes, the Bengals are down to the wire and have a shot.
Yeah. The other thing, going back to Kansas City for just a second, Richie said Miller had an ankle injury when the Rams got him. He was coming off an ankle injury.
Right.
So, going back to Kansas City for just a second. Except for the final score, I want to say they had not scored but 3 points in the second half. If you go back and look statistically, I think the Kansas City Chiefs have been one of the worst third-quarter teams this year, whether that's a slow start in the third quarter, whether they're in a situation they don't have to play hard in the third quarter because they built the league. Yeah. I don't know what the deal is, but there's something there, and I still think I hope that they haven't missed on Patrick Mahomes. He may be another Peyton Manning that sets stellar records but can't really pad the cabinet with championships.
It's hard to fathom that, as good as their defense, and I'm not saying they're the best in the league, but they have a very good defense. And, with having Kelsey and, Hill and just the ability, they may have too much. That and I know that sounds crazy. So you can't ever have too many weapons.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. And this may be an example of that we're watching unfold before our eyes, and we don't know it yet.
Now, another thing that came up, Richie had mentioned in the comments, and I hadn't said anything about it. Bieniemy's name is not on anybody's watch list. There's something there that we don't know about.
It's like Deshaun Watson. You said it before. There may be something there that none of us know about.
There's something from the league, something somebody doesn't like. So I don't know what that is, but it is. Now, Zach Peerless from CBS Sports is reporting why Jim Harbaugh will be a perfect fit for the Vikings.
Oh, interesting. I think it'd be a perfect fit for the Bears, but yeah.
According to some NFL experts, Harbaugh showed legitimate interest in the Minnesota head coaching job. During his interview with the team, the Vikings left the interview feeling Harbaugh is ready to make his return to the NFL and is in the mix. Cleaning house after the 2021, the Vikings could be looking to reunite, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, the new GM. It wasn't that long enough, according to the report. Harbaugh is flying to Minnesota to interview with Vikings brass on Wednesday, which just happens to be National Signing Day for college football. Harbaugh went 44-19-1.
If he's going up there on signing day,
he's gone.
Because signing day is your bread and butter, and you don't do anything, nothing to rock that day. Well, I'm going to tell you, let's see. The quarterback for the Vikings is now Kirk Cousins,
I believe. Mm-hmm.
If Harbaugh gets with him, they're going to absolutely slice and dice.
He hasn't had anybody with the needed knowledge and
underrated and underappreciated in
from a talent standpoint,
multiple levels.
Yeah,
multiple. He can't do this. He can't do that. Yet he wins in the most awful situations. You get him in there with somebody like Harbaugh that is a quarterback nurturer and understands how to develop within what that kid, the player has. Oh, man.
Vikings ever win a Super Bowl? They've never won a Super Bowl, have they?
They've been 4 or 5 times.
I don't think they've ever won either. So that may be the catalyst. Super Bowl appearances. There we go. The Vikings have been. They've never won it, but they have teams. 4 trips in 57 years.
It's all in the 70s, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was that during what was it Bud Grant?
Yeah.
That was
Bud
the head
Grant's Vikings.
Yeah, that was the
They were so good, man. Now I was really, really young. Okay, not able to appreciate, just a little kid. But when I watched some of the, the features and the films and the, this day and all this, whatever, they were kind of like Buffalo. You're kind of like, how? How? I don't know. It's just good stuff.
Let's see. This is it's a little bit longer because this was a 2018. They lost in Super Bowl 4 to the Chiefs,
Yeah.
23-7.
Yep.
They lost 4 years later to the Dolphins in 74, Super
Right.
Bowl 8,
Right.
24-7. They lost to
I believe the Steelers.
the Steelers in Super Bowl 9, 16-6, and their last
75.
appearance was in 1977.
Yep, 2
in
years
Super Bowl
later.
11, they lost to the Raiders.
Right.
The last time they made the NFC Championship game was 2010. They
And
lost
I
to the
believe they
Saints,
lost
31-28.
in- Was it an overtime game?
Which one's that now?
The 2010.
Yes, in overtime, 31-28.
I want to say they
overtime.
lost in an overtime game to get to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Years ago.
Yeah, that's
it's
another one,
crazy.
Milton. Fran Tarkenton never got a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Another great quarterback. Oh, man. Yeah. But anyway, I'm just
So who's Jimmy G going to go with? I mean, who will he end up with? Panthers?
no, they're not that smart.
They're going to have – let me tell you something. Panthers going to have to do something. They better make some noise in this offseason because they got some
They're not going to make you noise.
ticked off fans.
Richie said your Pirates are ranked in Baseball America's top 25 poll.
Yeah. Cliff does a tremendous job down there, and Cliff Godwin, and he I tell you, I hope he stays. He is, to me, he's one of the top 3 or 4 college baseball coaches in the country.
Mm-hmm.
The way that his ability to develop your strengths and turn them into powerful exhibitions of performance and shows you how to internally continue to drive and motivate because these baseball players at East Carolina are much like the SEC, ACC guys. When they go there, they are internally motivated and they want to go play in Major League Baseball. That is what – they don't go there just to have a college experience. They are ready to play Major League Baseball, and Cliff is able to be that channel, for them and knows how to, again, using the same word, channel that inner drive to help them get to have the potential to get to the next level. Injuries happen, but they are very, very good. They're incredible.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's incredible.
I'm not big on regular season college baseball, but love the playoffs and the World Series.
I got to tell you, Laney,
that's some of the best baseball you'll watch.
Well, and what's interesting, saying you're not big on that. What I'm kind of like that too, but I'm big on the matchups in the interweek games.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because you'll see East Carolina play like Carolina State.
Yeah.
They may play, and again, I'm just going to throw like a Georgia. I mean, just something crazy in midweek, and it is incredible baseball.
Those are special. You're just not following that regular season stuff. You're waiting. Kind of like just like I say when you get to the regionals. And
absolutely. The conference tournaments and the regionals and super regionals are just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm already excited for college softball, which I've said before. That's one of my favorite sports to watch.
Fun, a lot of fun.
And it doesn't take long. It moves.
No, that game it's a great game.
It moves. Have a great day, everybody. I don't think I've screwed anything up yet. We'll see you. I guess I'll see you back in here tomorrow morning. Juju will be joining me, and also Bill Bender will be joining me as well. Have a great time. See you guys.